Hey, how you doing? This is Frank from orderplans.com, and we're out here in Sag Harbor at Page at 63 Main, and I'm with Eric, who is the executive director here.
Director of Operations.
Director of Operations.
Yes.
And we just finished a continuing education course upstairs for the AIA Peconic. So we found a homeowner loves it, right? I got a phone call from the homeowner from John Rose's office, and he called me up and he said, Frank, how do I operate this again? I'm here with my nephew, my brother, and somebody else, and we are amazed at this. And they're talking like you can't pay for that kind of marketing, and they're chattering. When did you start using Revit, Phil? 9? 7?
15 years ago.
15 years ago. To do what?
Felt like a mistake.
Right. And you're designing, what were we designing back then?
Small dormers.
A dormer and a deck. We're using Revit to design a deck. It's stupid. But that's a process-driven German brain from the other side, and everything has to be efficient, which is fantastic in this type of work. So what would normally take maybe 4 hours to change a deck or something, would take us 12 clicks, and we're done in 10 minutes. So that's how we were able to leverage the manpower. That's how we out-manpowered it, because we used technology. We had a 3D printer in the office, and we printed this thing called the WAT, W-A-T, the weird-ass thing. And we printed this thing on treads, and we would mount the camera onto a pool, extendable telescoping, and I would push this thing under these, I don't know, 18-inch crawl spaces in Long Beach to see what's underneath here, as opposed to crawling underneath there. And well, this thing's framed with 2x4s, and there's beer cans underneath here, all sorts of crazy things. So we were always thinking outside the box, but when the LiDAR scanner went in, that changed everything. We were just blown away. And so, when I titled this thing Revolutionizing, Building Documentation, it sounds cliche, but it changed everything for us. It's consistent, it's repeatable, it's fast, right? We can get through about 5,000 square feet in about 2 hours. I'm off-site, in, out, done. 2 hours, in, out, done. So faster project timelines, and when I go out and I do this, I'll scan it, and usually 3 to 5 days after I have been on site, I have our first deliverable, right, Neela? Right? We had a deliverable right away, and we'll show it to you. It's very slick. And you can give your client, they've paid you a nice retainer, and now, inside of 3 to 5 business days, you can have a deliverable to them. That's beautiful. And we found a process-driven method for efficiently capturing existing conditions. That's a LiDAR scanner on top of the TomTom. And they're mapping the LIE.
Excellent.
And the facility was great. The food was delicious.
Excellent.
But I was talking with Jackie. She started talking about this really unique thing that you have here.
Aquaponics.
Aquaponics. So tell me, what's aquaponics?
Aquaponics is it's a closed system of fish and vegetables working together. The fish produce nitrogen.
Right.
The nitrogen fertilizes the plants.
Right.
The plants in turn purify the water. The water goes back into the fish tank, and you have a whole closed system without any fertilizers, and it's all organic.
So you mean that these fish here, now we're inside, these fish here, they're fertilizing?
They are producing nitrogen with their excretion of the food that they eat, and the food that we feed them is organic. So the whole concept is a closed organic system where
this is what?
This is Malamar spinach, which is definitely an edible spinach vine. It grows wild and crazy.
So this is like a vine, but you can...
Yep. Makes great pesto. Super nice. A lot of nutrients in that. Anything that's dark has a lot of nutrients.
Yeah, sure.
So, it's a little cloudy today, but that's all right. They're pooping actually. So
they're making fertilizer.
Yes, they are.
So this is where the fish get bigger.
Yeah. So this is some of the larger koi and carp and tilapia.
Gotcha.
Tilapia produce the most nitrogen. That's why you really shouldn't eat tilapia, because they're full of nitrogen and full of poop.
But it's good for what you're doing.
It's good exactly what we're needing it to do.
Gotcha.
And then this system here.
And this is, what is it, basil?
This is basil plants. Yep, we're doing basil here. And it's all in a floating tray system. Yeah, these are the mats that we use that you just moisten and they start the seeds growing. Basil. This is the mint. Yeah.
It looks like mint, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then there's a little kale. We do some kale, but we buy so much kale.
Intense.
It is. Yeah. It's
really
definitely intense. Even the basil is intense because it's, it's definitely. Like I say, gets lots of nutrients.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.